it's Royal Klein, and we're talking about Supernatural Season 1, Episode 20, Dead Man's Blood. If you are new here, I'm doing like a recap and review of every single episode of Supernatural, so let's get into it. I just got a haircut. So Dead Man's Blood, I have been waiting for this one. If you watch any of my other videos, so this is my first time rewatching Supernatural all the way through, but obviously I've rewatched certain episodes over time, but a lot of season 1 episodes I haven't rewatched, and so I forgot a lot about season 1. But I don't even think I've rewatched this episode. Maybe I rewatched it once, but I always remember there's like this vampire episode and it's very important. I'm also someone who really loves vampire shows, vampire movies, whatever, anything vampire related. So maybe that's why I remember this episode more. And so it's also crazy because Sam and Dean are like, vampires, or Dean more likely is like, I can't believe these things exist, which is so crazy because of everything they go through, how they don't think, oh, that was not what I should do with my hair. Anyway, I don't know what to do with my hair. It's all over the place, but it's kind of crazy that, I think it's crazy that in his 20 years of hunting or whatever, or in the hunting life, Dean, that they've never come across vampires before. And it's kind of the same thing when they had that episode with the plane and the demon, how demons, this is not a big deal, but it's something that over time becomes more usual. I feel like the demons are more ingrained with Supernatural as it goes along rather than vampires, because vampires are only ever so often. But it's still so crazy, at the beginning they're like, wow, this is such a big deal, and then it's something that comes up much more often later in the show. But I think they have to make it a big deal the first time around. And so it's interesting also, always with vampire movies and lore and everything, I like to nitpick at what things are different. And so sunlight, not killing them, but they don't really like sunlight, is kind of you see that in some lore, some not. And then how someone turns into a vampire is also very different. So in this one, I think it's kind of they drink vampire blood, I guess. And it's interesting, the dead man's blood, because that is something that I don't think is in any other vampire lore that I've consumed. Maybe it has, I'm not really sure. Cutting off their heads, you see that a lot. But, using dead man's blood to weaken them is something that is unique and is actually kind of interesting, and that's what they named the episode. And if you are confused what dead man's blood is, it's the blood of someone who's dead. Which vampires obviously consume the blood of people who are alive. So it's interesting that a dead person would weaken them. But that's why Dean had to go to cemetery. So this episode's also really important because their dad comes back. And so this is why maybe I thought, because he's pretty much in the entire episode, which is why maybe I thought this was his first episode back when I was remembering everything. But he was actually in a lot of episodes. But when he's in a lot of these past episodes, he's either towards the end, only in a few scenes, whatever. This, he's right away at the beginning of the episode, he's there, and he just gets into their car. It's kind of random and crazy because it's so unusual, and especially someone who's watched the rest of the series, that's just so random. But yeah, so their dad's in this entire episode, and so it kind of brings in this cult, and this is the first time we talked about the cult, which is the gun. And it's kind of introduced, this is how we're going to kill the demon that killed our mom and Jess. And, we talked a lot about episodic versus serial, and, they're coming, this is the 20th episode. They have 2 episodes left, and, it's finale, and so they have to, lead things up. And so they're probably figuring out, what can we do? And so they have this thing where it's, they have to find the weapon. And so this weapon is known to kill anything. And so they, get hold of the weapon, and they even are able to shoot it, and you see kind of how it works too, which I think is also important. I feel there wasn't much of a hunt of this because they kind of find out right away, from their dad, it is vampires, this is what they're dealing with, trying to learn what to do. Oh my god, there's this whole part I forgot about. So there's a lot of Dean is kind of taking their dad's orders, but Sam's kind of different. He's questioning it. He's why does he know this? And it's kind of as a viewer, you're how does he know this? How does he know what to do? Blah, 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 blah. He's so focused. And it's kind of, and then you have that scene where Sam and his father, and this is like also not at the end of the episode, it's kind of in the middle, but like closer to the beginning of the episode, I would say, where Sam and his father are fighting in the road, and like Sam is like screaming his heart out, and you're like, wow, Jared's like a really good actor, because he was like killing it with that. But overall, I feel like it feels like a very much different than every other episode, because you know, their dad is there the entire time. It's not really a hunt. They know what they're doing, and this time they're not necessarily like going, I mean, I guess they're going after these vampires, but it's kind of different because they are going after this gun, so it's a little bit different than other episodes. Obviously, we talk about Monster of the Week a lot, so vampires are Monster of the Week. We haven't had that before, and you know, saving the girl aspect wasn't really there. It was kind of just very different episode overall because of the dad. Anyway, that was my recap and review of this episode of Supernatural, so make sure you comment your thoughts and watch my next video. Thank you guys for watching, like, subscribe, and bye.